All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Franchisee Spotlight, and I am the CEO of a Place at Home senior care franchise. And I'm here with one of our rapidly growing and new franchise owners, Sam Van Valzah, who opened this business with his wife, Joscelyn, just in November of last year. So they haven't even reached a full year. He'll be able to share with you during this time. It's been a ride, but really caught fire in this last quarter. And just in this quarter alone, we're 15 days in, and you're at what, Sam? You're at about a 412% growth quarter over quarter. So you've hit a stride. You've got a lot. One thing I really like about you, amongst many, is your ability to problem solve and troubleshoot by finding different ways to get in with places. In a place like Encinitas, which is a suburb of San Diego, which I was just talking about your location. I said, I don't believe in market saturation. I think that there's competition for everybody. But after your visit, when I went there and noticed, I said, you know what? If there was one place that is highly competitive, it's San Diego for sure. And you have got in, you kept hitting the play button every day. You probably had some ups, some downs, some emotional roller coasters, which we'll get into. But here you are, my friend, today, making it. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here. Excited to talk about the journey.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right in. Yep. So we're going to talk about what got you to a Place at Home. Let's start with your story. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and what led you to the senior care industry?
Yeah. So I was a financial planner for over a decade before I made the transition into business ownership and senior care. My wife Joscelyn and I, we talked a lot about how we wanted to jump off the deep end into an entrepreneurial venture, but we wanted to do something that we felt passionate about, something that would improve our community. And we settled on senior care because this is something that we've been going through with our own grandparents, Joscelyn's abuela and my own grandmother, who's in assisted living. We just found that the industry was difficult to navigate. We would make calls to different groups and just not get the sort of response we were expecting. I would say to some point, a lack of professionalism. And we were like, man, we believe we could do well and improve how home care is done within our community.
Awesome. You know, that's kind of like was my story. Same exact story back in Omaha 14 years ago. Is I started shopping around, looking at providers, and people weren't calling me back. Yeah. It's like I had to chase people to do this service. And, one thing about senior care, you're providing care, right? You recruit people, you place them in the homes, and they're providing care. But at the end of the day, it's a customer service business as well. Like you got to make sure the families are communicated to, the seniors are communicated to, the caregivers have constant communication, and it's just the level of customer service. And that was one of my biggest drivers as well.
100%.
For sure. And you guys are making it. And then there's no reason why you shouldn't be growing at 400+% quarter over quarter if you focus on that, right?
100%. We want to be the status quo to the point where these other companies need to be better to keep up. And that in turn will provide better care to everyone within our community. 100%. That's the idea.
100%. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Next question. What was it about a Place at Home that made you say, yes, this is the franchise for us? And you can't say Mitch Benson. You can say Mitch, but very briefly, right? Because
if I can't say Mitch, then I don't know. I'm going to have to make something up, I think.
I read your website and it had Mitch Benson, for all those, that is our franchise development director. Who talks to all of our candidates at the beginning. So go ahead and talk about your experience there and what led you here.
He's also the corporate weatherman, and he would send me weather updates every day, and it just was like, man, this guy's on it.
He does. He gave us a weather update this week.
So we looked at a lot of different groups and spoke with a lot of different franchises. We knew we wanted to go with a franchise model because we were so new to operating and running a business. We just felt that would be the best route for what we were trying to accomplish, especially with like my being brand new to this industry. Joscelyn has healthcare experience, but this was a totally new for me. I had to learn a lot. But when we met you, Jared, we were just, it just clicked. We could feel your passion, the things, the goals you were trying to achieve aligned with us. And the more we, worked with you, the more we spoke with you, you just kept, just building trust, doing the things you said you're going to do, going above and beyond for people. I do feel that you are not this sort of churn and burn structure that I've seen out there with some franchises where it's like, if you don't make it, too bad, so sad. I believe you genuinely want everyone to succeed and give us all the tools needed to succeed.
100%. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sure.
And that's kind of our job, go into the franchising there. It's like, we're not the executors of the business anymore, right? You guys have to provide that service level at the ground level. But it starts with us making sure you have everything you need as best as we possibly can deliver it. Things like Jennifer working on the guide program, right? Not a lot of people knew about that guide program, but Jennifer came across it. You got to give her a shout out. Us working on national partnerships that you can utilize, us doing the research for CRMs like Welcome Home and saying, hey guys, you should really look into this Welcome Home. Using an ATS and always looking at different vendors. Now, I don't ever want it to come off as, oh man, here's corporate coming up with another grand idea. But it's us saying, how can we give you an edge and stay competitive, because things change. Now, the good thing about senior care, technology isn't going to come in and have a massive disruption like it does in other industries. There's ways to use technology for sure, 100%.
Yep.
But still, it's a customer service people business, right? So I've seen brands right now who are trying to go, they're trying to Uberify and make it like a mail order caregiver. Like it can be successful. I'm not saying it can't be, but it's going to be really hard because you lose that personal touch. So.
Yeah. And it's when you start to get into more advanced situations like dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's support, that's when that human element, that human touch, and someone who really knows what they're doing is going to be so valuable to families. And we can talk about that later because we have a good story about that. But yeah, you can't just bring anyone into a house without intimate knowledge on what's actually going on.
Exactly. All right. Now, you guys, are you from San Diego? Or did you guys move? I can't remember.
I'm originally from the Tampa Bay area, St. Petersburg, Florida, and then Colorado, and then San Diego.
And then Joscelyn, where's she from?
Joscelyn is originally from California, and then New York, and then Florida. That's where we met, and then Colorado, and then back to California. So she's sort of like circling the United States a little bit, except for Washington, I guess.
Gotcha. So you chose Encinitas as your place, right? I know there's a lot of territories available in that part of California. We have a lot of locations in California, but not in the southern part where you guys are. What made you choose Encinitas as a territory choice?
Yeah, so I wouldn't even say we're Encinitas alone. It's really coastal San Diego, right? Coastal North County San Diego. So there's a lot of cities we cover. So Carlsbad, Del Mar, Encinitas, of course, Oceanside, right? So there's a lot of cities in this area we cover, and we love this community. We love this community. We want to, as I mentioned, fundamentally improve on this community holistically. And if we meet our goals, and get to the point where it's like, okay, we have turned a status quo in home care, it's going to improve the options available to everyone here. So, you know, it's a matter of just like, you find a place that is special to you, and then you just want to protect it, improve it. And that's what happened in the Encinitas, you know, coastal San Diego area for us.
Awesome. And we had a fine dinner. And didn't you? Was that in Encinitas where we went to? Oh God, what's the steakhouse?
La Jolla.
Oh, we went to La Jolla. Yeah,
La
that
Jolla.
was a cool place.
Yeah.
What's the steakhouse? I go there every time I try to travel. I'm forgetting it.
Where is it?
What was the steakhouse name?
Oh, Eddie V's.
Eddie V's. Every time I go somewhere, there's an Eddie V's. That's where I go. I just have a good time there.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about let's talk about your early journey. Your first 90 days. I had said, like, you were in the grind, you were in the heater, like, for 90 days, which we always tell people your first year is the hardest year, and you got to build that foundation.
Yeah.
What were those early days, your first 90 days like? Any surprises or lessons you wish you knew then?
Yeah, so a lot. I mean, I don't know if we have enough time to go through all of it, but it's
Top three.
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway, I think, was just chatting with you, like, just keep hitting play, like, hit the play button every day, one foot in front of the other. And if you work off that mindset, things will happen, right? And that's exactly what we did. You know, we took all of the strategies and various information we've gathered from people and took it to, you know, right away, just meeting with skilled nursing facilities and learning, like, exactly what the process is to discharge someone. That all, you know, we learned about it in orientation and stuff like that, but then once you actually go and implement it, it's like, okay, I have to relearn this stuff, or at least I did.
Yeah,
so
most people are.
Yeah. So once you're, you know, it takes some time it takes some errors, it takes you know, a lot of mistakes, and then you just keep hitting play, right? And you keep moving forward, you learn, you get better and better. So you get, you know, right now I'm at a point where I'll just walk into somewhere and just go straight to the social work. Like, I'll say hello to the front desk and just keep it moving, right? So, you know, I don't need to be pointed in any direction. And then something I'm working on now is developing a cadence, so a more consistent cadence where I'm seeing the same people like clockwork every week, right? So
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've kind of bucketed your referral sources, and we can get into that
Yeah.
a little later as well. But, you know, I would mention before we started recording that we have a training class here, and we're actually training them on Welcome Home. We've shifted our training now with the new platform, and I have them rating them as cold, warm, or hot referral sources. How do you get a prospect? How do you rate them, and go through that whole journey? And it's pretty intuitive, having a good CRM. And I think that was one of my number one things I wish I had back when I started.
That's extremely valuable. Yeah.
Good CRM. So, all right, going on to referral network. Building a referral network is crucial in this industry, right?
Yep.
How did you approach that in the beginning?
So for me, the number one thing was to network, go to as many networking events as possible, and just be a sponge, right? So ask questions. You know, it's okay, you don't have all the answers. It's okay, you don't know intimate details about the business yet. And you just get to know people. You get to know what their goals are, what their problems are. And then you start to, what happened with me is I started to see how everyone's connected. So the entire community is connected in one way or the other. So you'll have real estate people that focus on senior care as they sell their homes so that they can afford assisted living. You have placement people that look to place people in a really good fit assisted living community, and then hospice or home health reps that are trying to get business, for whatever the needs are. But all of this is connected in some capacity, including in home care. And once you really get to know the people who are, the folks doing the right thing, then you just keep working with them, co-market, just be a friend, provide as much value to them as you can, and then I believe you get that in return.
100%. I always live by that. My father-in-law taught me this. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want, right?
Yeah, 100%. And that is exactly how this industry works. So
100%.
my mindset with anyone new is I don't want to ask them for anything. I do not want to go in there and ask them for anything. I want to go in there and help them and help them and help them and help them. And then I'll say, hey, by the way, we can do these things for you. And by that time I have so much trust that it's like, yeah, let's work together.
100%. Good. And now you're getting leads.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to stay in the early journey before we move on. One last question, number 3. What kind of support did you receive from the corporate team during your launch? How did that impact your start?
Yeah. So a lot of support, and it was it impacted us tremendously because I don't know. It's just having those days where you talk through things and someone's always available. Someone's always available. You can, or if they're not, they tell you when they're available, and then get back to you right away. So having that team of support for just like the sort of mental struggles that'll happen as you learn new things in this industry. I think for me, that was incredibly valuable. Like I said earlier, just hit play, right? Just hit play. That was helpful for me because it sort of like calmed my mind. So like you don't have to solve you're never going to solve everything at once. Like some stuff is just going to stay on fire for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you just keep going, things will fall into place. And then you have that fundamental goal to care well and care better, and people will hear about you, and then things will work out.
Absolutely. The other thing I always say is control the controllables, right?
Yeah.
You can't control what families, prospects, referral sources.
Right.
You can't control what they say about you. You can't control things that happen in the home with the caregiver. You can't control those things, but you can control your response. You can't control how you, I don't like to say react. React sounds kind of negative. It's more like, how do you address it and then move on from it, learn from it, and then move on from it. But as long as you operate that way, one of my major things was I'm very type A. So like I'd have everything in place, right? My schedule would be pristine. And then a caregiver would call off and I'd be like, gosh, bless it.
I know.
Man, you messed up my whole day.
Yeah, I know.
And that was like my first year or two. And then year 3, I'm like, whatever, we'll figure it out. And that, as long as you can just do that, control the controllables and keep going every single day and don't get into a negative headspace, you can be very, very successful at this. And what you're doing, again, 400% growth. Let's talk about growth and successes. What has been your proudest moment since becoming a franchise owner of a place at home thus far?
My proudest moment, it's we there's a few, I think, but we had a family that was cycling through care agencies. We were their 4th one that they brought in, and we really took it to the next level. So this was a dementia client, advanced dementia stage 6. They're still with us. And the issue was the same thing we hear all the time. These other agencies are coming in and they're just sort of sitting with her. They're not doing anything. It's more or less babysitting. They're helping with the all the normal caregiver stuff, like helping with cleaning or making some food or changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We brought in a dementia activity kit that had activities designed for stage 6 dementia, as well as a guidebook on utilizing all of these activities. And this family was blown away by this. They said they've never seen this before. No one has worked with her to this extent, and this is what we've been looking for. So we had one of the activities is we put on music that she is familiar with. So 50s music that she recognizes. And then we do ribbon dancing, and she gets up and moves and does the ribbon dancing. Her husband took a video of it, sent it to all his kids, and all his kids were chatting just on like, oh, we haven't seen her do this in years. So that kind of stuff is huge, and we're proud to be able to go into houses and help families in that capacity.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. This next question is kind of the same. Can you share a memorable story where you or your team made a real difference in the life of a client? Yeah, what maybe a particular client story you got?
Yeah. So the last story, I mean, would work here too, but I can tell another one.
Let's do another one.
Yeah, we had a big win with our changing condition protocol. So another client who's still with us, the caregiver noticed he just was not himself, sleeping longer, not as sprightly as he normally would be in the morning, not eating as much. So we activated, we said, oh, there's a change of condition, we're concerned here. And we saw that and recommended that he go to the clinic immediately, right? His primary, or I forget what it was, maybe the emergency clinic, but he went in and they found a UTI. So they found it early enough that it didn't turn into something worse. So with his particular diagnosis, it is dementia, so it's difficult for him to explain like, something's off or something hurts. And UTIs can turn worse, and there's a higher mortality rate for folks with dementia and diabetes in this scenario. So catching that early is a big win.
Yeah, no, UTIs. I mean, and that's the thing, you're proactive with it. So a lot of agencies, and that's the big push from corporate on changing condition. If you notice something, say something, right?
Yeah.
Like caregivers are mandatory reporters. If you're noticing things like someone undiagnosed dementia, everyone has forgetfulness. But when it's like, you can tell something's not right. It's usually a UTI. It happened to my grandmother. Like she was all over the place one day, and I'm just like, what's going on with you? Right. And so found out she had a UTI. So it's good. And the way to do that is just educate your caregivers about the change of condition. If you notice something, report it on our platform, and we can react to it. And then you have a client success story. You've saved Medicare and insurance companies numerous thousands of dollars by finding it proactively as opposed to letting it get to a point of hospitalization, right?
Yep.
So no, good job. That is a good win right there.
Yeah, and that's a good point though. When these things occur, not only is it a big win and it's incredibly valuable for the family, but then you can take that as like a case study and present that to discharge planners. Like, hey, this is how good we are. This is what happened, and here's a breakdown on what happened here. And those case studies can go a long way. In addition to that, you can take it as a success story and train your new caregivers on it. Hey, this is one of our clients. This is what happened, right? And then they can understand, oh, okay, this is really important. This is what the change in conditions for.
For sure. All right, nice. Keeping it on here is we're going to shift it. We have a lot, actually every person here in training, I have 3 locations here in training. They're all married or all couples.
Oh, right? Wow. Nice.
Kind of like you and Joscelyn, Chris and Rick, and multiple others. I'm forgetting a half, but for your guys' situation, if you're working as partners in business as a married couple, how do you divide responsibilities? And what's your secret to working well together?
So what Josh says goes, and I don't question it.
Fair enough. He has that personality.
It's like, you know, she's the board. It's like you were saying before.
All right.
She's the board. No, so the way for us, it was kind of easy because our skill set is like, it was pretty straightforward that she would handle all of operations and I would handle marketing and sales. My background's in marketing and sales, her background's in operations, so it was an easy fit for us. And we collaborate with each other when we're stumped on something, and then we talk about it and come to a solution on what the best strategy would be moving forward. But day-to-day stuff is pretty much handled within these two separate groups. It's not perfect. It'll never be perfect, especially where we are at now with our growth stage. You'll see any of the newer folks coming in, as you add hours, the things you need to focus on will change. And you'll have to really have a good structure built, or you know, the tires will fly off the wagon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
so
arguments happen, and no one likes arguments.
yeah, and then it's like, okay, well, something that'll go on in your mind, which is kind of, we're playing with that now too, is like we're bringing in profit, and now we're hiring people. So now it's like, you know, not all that profit is going back into the business now because we have to hire more people. So then, but the goal is that we continue to scale by hiring more people. So those are the sort of decisions you have to work with, because it's, you know, Josh and I can't do it all, right? There's no leverage there if we just sit and we're both working 24 hours, right? We have to hire people to do it, so then we can focus on other things.
Yeah. You're getting to that team building stage. That enters you too.
Yeah.
So you're getting there. All right, let's talk about challenges and lessons learned. You ready for that?
Let's do it.
Every business comes with challenges. What's been one of your biggest, and how did you overcome it?
I think just getting the referrals flowing was a challenge early on. I think that was our number one thing. And I would say we still have a lot of work to do there. I think there's a lot more avenues and things we can do to get in front of our community. But once I realized that the goal is to not just talk to people, the goal is to help people, including not only our families, but these, you know, like memory care administrators, these you know, social workers and skilled nursing. That took a while to learn. You can't just go in and ask for the business, you have to earn it. So instead of expecting results or expecting some sort of referral, it's okay, I'm not even concerned about that. What can I do to help? How can I provide value to you? And that has helped tremendously. That's turned into a lot of partnerships for us.
Sure. Awesome. Yep. The partnerships in an area like that are key, but once you start breaking through those barriers, I mean, you're seeing it. You're starting to get referrals, which then I believe you got introduced to other people, part of that system, and now you're working with other people, and it's just a trickling effect. Remember, like I always say, you got to stack meetings, stack referrals, keep hitting the play button, and never just sit on your butt 1 week, right?
Yeah, I mean, and we're seeing 100%. We're seeing results there. I mean, we took home Small Business Leader of the Year from our chamber. We're not even a year in, so we're we're proud of that, and that comes from creating value. It comes from creating value in our community.
100%. I'm gonna skip the next question. I'm gonna go on to the last part of challenges and lesson learned. What's one piece of advice you'd give to someone just starting their franchise journey with a place at home?
I would say learn as much, be humble, learn as much as you can. Know your fundamental goals. So if it's, I want to create value for my community, just remember that. And keep hitting play. I'm going to take that from you. So right. That's helped me a lot. So I'll send it to other people.
Yeah. You know, I can't take that one on myself. I actually took that from Tony Horton from P90X.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Tony Horton.
Yeah. Keep hitting play. Just keep hitting play.
Yeah. Nice.
Those workouts back. And remember that was a big program on DVD.
Yeah.
Man, me and my wife would do it. Actually, I mean, it really works, but gosh, it's a commitment.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Community. Yeah, that's why you got to keep it in play. I think that's why he says it so much. Community and impact. All right. So how do you stay involved in your local community outside of your day-to-day operations? So I think what that question is you've been in the community a lot, right? But now you're in full operations mode. And this is where we always say, once you get taken out of the community, you got to start looking at building a team so you can stay in. So how do you do it?
Yeah, so that we're dealing with that right now. So I've been heavily involved in our community and networking and speaking at events and joining the chamber, joining various advisory councils, which is another good piece of advice is say yes, be active as much as you can with all this stuff. If you feel like you're not qualified, just do it anyways. You'll become qualified. Just do it.
Self-qualifying.
Yeah. So, don't self-reject. That's a big thing. Do not self-reject. You're better than you think you are. Right. So get on those advisory councils. Like I'm on the military advisory council, and I never served in the military, but I have knowledge now on aid in attendance and helping VA or helping veterans with their VA benefits, right? So I can provide value in that way in the military council, right? So it's things like that. Now I'm being pulled out of the community as we build this team. So we are restructuring the way our workflows run with hiring. And we're hiring some more office staff to be able to kind of break up some of these tasks so then I can get back in the community, because I have to stay after it, because if you stop, people stop calling. So
100%. Got to stay out there. Keep hitting play. All right. Now, I got off my screen here. Hold on. All right. Last one on the community impact. What's the most rewarding part of serving seniors and families in your area? You kind of answered this, but I guess if I could ask, like, for a 2-sentence reason, what is the most rewarding, would you say?
Improving their lives.
All right. Increase quality of life.
That's really the most rewarding thing. I mean, like I said, I tell families this, there's no other way around it. Home care is expensive. We're not going to pretend like it's not expensive. So there needs to be enough value there for you. And that's why, and we are consistently looking for ways to improve. And I tell our caregivers, we need to leave this home better than when we arrived. We want to be proactive, not reactive. So if we're being reactive, we've already messed up. And then, as I said, with the dementia care kit and the other various things we do with our families, we've done menus for people, right? So it's being able to think outside the box and understand that there's improvements to be made with day to day, and we can be better than just just standard caregiving. You'll be able to benefit your community, hopefully change home care, and people, all the companies will start implementing those things, which in turn will be better for our senior community as a whole.
100%. Well, now let's look ahead in the crystal ball of Sam. Looking forward, where do you see your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years. I think we're going to continue to grow, and we would like to expand to other territories. We'd like to expand to other avenues to continue to help our senior community, like boarding cares, which I've seen there's a pretty good one out there, Legato Living.
Yeah,
like those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple franchise owners.
Dude,
right?
Are there? Is there? Yeah, we got to talk more about that.
Looking at one, you got a couple years.
But no, yeah, you in this industry, you realize how so much is connected, how your community's connected through businesses that provide value to people. And I mean, if you can improve one service area, you can improve other service areas. So that would be our goal with looking into, say, like assisted living or boarding cares, or even CNA programs, adult daycares. There's a lot of things you can do to improve what's out there for your community.
Yeah, 100%. I even saw one the other day, this senior cooking franchise someone sent me, where they prepare like exotic, like gourmet meals, deliver them. It's a good concept. All right. Are there any right here? Are there any service or program you're excited to introduce or grow? What about placement?
Yeah.
So placement, like area of opportunity here in the next year or two.
I like placement a lot. I think I use it a lot for conversation starters, because a lot of assisted living, you'll go in and as a home care person, they're like, but as a placement person, they definitely want to talk to you. So doing both is valuable to just open yourself to various communities. We have a lot of placement partners, so we like to send our placement partners stuff. But depending on the situation, if we're really close to the family, we'll do more placement for them. If they just, we have the trust and they don't want to work with anyone else.
Have you done a placement yet? Didn't you do one?
So we did a couple, but they ended up wanting more home care rather than being placed.
So you haven't got that first one yet?
They're just very nervous about the entire process, which it's a tough change. So
for sure. You remind me of Adam and Trista Johnson out of the Woodlands. You should talk to him sometime if you haven't already talked to him. But you're in that same age demographic, and he does 2 placements a month. That dude, with his salesperson, it's a good area of opportunity for growth for sure. It'll help that helps margin out as well. And like that was our plan when I left there is, hey, offer up advisory services as much as you possibly can to your community, like you were saying, help navigate. And then again, you've helped enough people and you're not getting paid for it, right? But you are making introductions and building a reputation off that. So it's kind of like a marketing. And so I feel like you'll be a guy who gets into the placement realm here in the next year or two. I think it'd be a good fit for you and Joscelyn's personality and that community for sure. So, all right. Moving on here, we got, right here, how do you personally define success beyond revenue and client count?
So I think we're successful if we have folks staying with us, right? So if we have families that are staying with us and not leaving, I think that's successful. That means we're doing something right. And just being active in the community, people that, I mean, I went to a chamber event the other day, and there's people that knew me that I hadn't met yet. So it's like stuff like that. It's like, okay, I'm doing something right if this is happening.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think it's just like those little connections along the way that present themselves.
Okay. Awesome. So retention,
Yeah, retention.
Even you said it numerous times. I got to find value in what you're putting down. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, Sam, I got some fun ones, some rapid fire ones. You ready?
Good. Yeah.
And we'll close it out. Favorite quote or leadership philosophy?
Oh, I'm a big fan of the Stoic philosophy. So leadership quote would be Marcus Aurelius. You're in control. You're in control of your mind. Know that, and you will find strength. So, and what that means is you can be exhausted, so tired, but if you know that you can take another step forward, you can make that next thing happen, right? That one more thing, right? It's just a mindset shift.
All right, that's a good one. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
How many shots of espresso?
4.
Oh, what?
Maybe more.
I'm at 3.
What's the time frame we have on it?
That's the 9 a.m. on my way to the office, Starbucks. I get the blonde roast for 3 shots, $9. So I got to cool it a little bit.
Whoa.
But gets you going for the day.
Yeah.
Beach day or mountain hike? Ooh, that's interesting. Coming in Encinitas.
That's a tough one. I would pick both if I was allowed, but if I had to pick one, I would say beach day.
Beach day. All right, I'm more of a mountain hike guy. I like going to the mountains. I love the mountains in the summer.
Yeah,
I like the beach, but mountains, everything's different. The beach is sand and sun.
Yeah. Well, here you can go surfing, so it's great.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not in Nebraska. There's no surf.
Yeah, I don't think it was very good in Nebraska.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Early bird. I'm a night owl. All right. One word to describe your team.
Passionate.
Passionate. All right. There you go. You got to build the team and take that passionate all the way through.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts or things that I always ask this question. One piece of advice. I know you've already said that to the training class right now. We have a training class of all couples, right? We have Carrollton, Texas, Orlando, Florida, and Las Vegas, Nevada, all here. What's one piece of advice you give them post-training?
Use the support that's available to you within a place at home community. So, and what I mean by that is the other owners, the texting other owners. We've had we're so grateful with a lot of these amazing business owners that we're blessed to work with, and we reach out if we're struggling, and they've been there before. So it's like you get the absolute best advice because it's someone who's already been through it and solved the issue and kept it rolling, right? So I would say that is don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask if someone could give you a call. Worst they'll say is no or whatever, but most people that I've worked with here, they all say yes. So 100%. Everyone wants to help everyone.
Any in particular franchise owner that you'd give a shout out to for best mentorship or advice?
Yes, Fatima and Nalima.
Fatima and Nalima, Chicago and Ohio, and you're in San Diego.
Yeah,
that's what a tight knit group can do. You can be coast to coast and help each other the most. Look at that, busting rhyme, close it out. Well, Sam, I appreciate your time, man. I know you got a lot going on out there. Tell Joscelyn hello and keep on
Will do.
growing.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Talk to you
All right.
later.
Bye.